She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
The Prince of Wales says the past year has been the hardest of his life. Speaking to the media in South Africa, he said he was proud of both of them. Prince William has just revealed a royal secret that no one saw coming, the existence of a sister kept hidden from the public eye for years. Speculation and whispers surrounded the British royal family, but now William is breaking his silence and explaining why she was always a secret. Was it a matter of royal tradition, a shocking scandal, or something even more mysterious? As this revelation sends shockwaves through the monarchy, the world is left wondering, who is she, and why was she hidden? Stay tuned because this changes everything. The British royal family has a history that stretches back over 1,000 years, tracing its origins to King Alfred the Great, who ruled the Kingdom of Wessex in the 9th century. Over the centuries, this lineage grew into a vast family tree, with each generation shaping the course of history. However, instead of delving into medieval times, we will focus on the modern royal family, known as the House of Windsor, which officially began in 1917. During World War I, the British monarchy faced a major challenge. Anti-monarchy sentiments were on the rise, and their German-sounding family name, Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, fueled public distrust. To protect the monarchy's reputation, King George V decided to change the royal family's name to Windsor, inspired by Windsor Castle. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in the royal family's history. King George V, the great-grandfather of the current monarch, King Charles III, was not originally expected to become king. He was Queen Victoria's 20th grandson and was only third in line to the throne. However, fate intervened when his elder brother, Prince Albert Victor, died unexpectedly in 1892. With his brother gone, George became the direct heir and eventually ascended the throne in 1910. During his reign, King George V played a crucial role in stabilizing the monarchy amidst global turmoil. He ruled through World War I, navigated the Irish Uprising, and was the first British king to visit India in 1911. He remained king and emperor of India until his death in 1936. George V was married to Queen Mary, who had originally been engaged to his late brother, Prince Albert Victor. After Albert's untimely death, she married George in 1893, and together they had 6 children: Prince Edward, Prince Albert, Princess Mary, Prince Henry, Prince George, and Prince John. Tragically, Prince John suffered from epilepsy and passed away at the young age of 13. Later, Prince George died in a military air crash in 1942. Upon George V's death in 1936, his eldest son, Prince Edward, became King Edward VIII. However, his reign would become one of the most controversial in British history. Shortly after taking the throne, Edward fell in love with Wallis Simpson, an American socialite and divorcee. At the time, the Church of England did not allow a reigning monarch to marry a divorced person whose former spouse was still alive. This caused a massive scandal, and the British government opposed the marriage. Rather than give up his love for Wallis, Edward made an unprecedented decision. He abdicated the throne in December 1936, shocking the nation. In a historic radio broadcast, he announced that he could not carry out his duties as king while remaining with Wallis. His abdication made him the shortest reigning British monarch, as he ruled for just 1 year. With Edward stepping down, his younger brother, Prince Albert, took the throne as King George VI. He married Lady Elizabeth Beausoleil, and together they had 2 daughters, Princess Margaret and the future Queen Elizabeth II. George VI ruled during a critical period in history, overseeing Britain during World War II. His reign also marked the beginning of the end for the British Empire, as many colonies pushed for independence. In response, the British Commonwealth was formed, and George VI became its first head. However, his health declined due to years of heavy smoking, and he passed away in 1952 at the age of 56. His eldest daughter, Elizabeth, became Queen Elizabeth II. Even before taking the throne, Elizabeth had been engaged to Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark, whom she had known since she was 13. They married in 1947 and had 4 children: Charles, Anne, Andrew, and Edward. Elizabeth II would go on to become the longest reigning monarch in British history. From 1952 until her passing in 2022, she ruled for an astonishing 70 years, guiding Britain through wars, political changes, and social transformation. Her reign left a lasting legacy that no British monarch before her had achieved. Now, with King Charles III on the throne, will he continue to carry forward the royal lineage? Let's take a closer look. In 2022, Charles finally became king following the passing of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. His path to the throne was anything but simple. His life was filled with controversies, hidden truths, and scandals that kept the public fascinated for decades. Born in 1948, Charles was the eldest son of Queen Elizabeth II and the first British heir to earn a university degree. Unlike his mother, who was privately tutored, Charles attended elite schools and later graduated from the University of Cambridge in 1970. His academic journey didn't stop there. His Bachelor of Arts degree was later upgraded to a Master of Arts. After his studies, he served in both the Royal Air Force and the Royal Navy, fulfilling his duties as a future king. However, despite his prestigious education and military service, Charles's personal life became one of the most talked about aspects of his story. His most infamous scandal was his love life, which captivated and shocked the world. Charles's romantic journey took an unexpected turn when he met Diana Frances Spencer. Born in 1961, Diana came from a noble family. Her father, John Spencer, and mother, Frances, had lived on the Sandringham estate, which was leased from the Queen. Diana had a special bond with Queen Elizabeth II, affectionately calling her Aunt Lilibet. She had a love for animals, even keeping a guinea pig named Peanuts as a child. However, Diana's childhood was not as idyllic as it seemed. In 1967, her parents' marriage began falling apart, and rumors swirled that her mother had run off with a married businessman. Shortly after, Frances was served divorce papers, leaving Diana to navigate a turbulent family life at a young age. Diana was just 16 when she first met Charles. At the time, their relationship was purely friendly. In an interesting twist, Charles initially dated Diana's older sister, Sarah Spencer. Before realizing that it was Diana who truly caught his attention, their relationship developed gradually through formal dinners, elegant dances, and stolen moments together. In November 1978, Charles invited Diana to a grand dance at Buckingham Palace, marking the start of their growing bond. However, their courtship wasn't without pauses. After a brief period of separation, Charles and Diana reconnected during a countryside weekend gathering. This time, Charles found himself truly drawn to her warmth and charm. As their relationship deepened, Charles introduced Diana to his family. She was invited to Balmoral Castle, the royal family's private retreat in Scotland, where she was warmly received. However, this newfound attention came with immense pressure. The media frenzy surrounding Diana was unlike anything seen before. Seeing the intense scrutiny, Prince Philip, Charles's father, intervened. He urged Charles to either commit to Diana or end the relationship before her reputation became too entangled with the royal family. Feeling the weight of expectations, Charles proposed to Diana on February 6, 1981, at Windsor Castle. She said yes, and just 18 days later, their engagement was officially announced to the world. The couple gave their first joint interview, where Diana openly expressed her love for Charles. "I had a long time to think about it. I knew pressure on both of us, and it was a difficult decision in the end." However, one moment stood out and raised eyebrows. When asked if he was in love with Diana, Charles hesitantly responded, "Whatever in love means." On July 29, 1981, the world watched as Diana and Charles married in a grand ceremony at St. Paul's Cathedral. Over 750 million people tuned in, and an estimated 600,000 gathered on the streets to catch a glimpse of the new Princess of Wales. The event seemed like a fairy tale come to life, but there were already signs of trouble. At the altar, Diana made a subtle but powerful statement. She reversed the order of Charles's name while reciting her vows and chose to omit the word obey. This small act hinted at her desire for a new kind of leadership, one built on love and respect rather than blind tradition. While the world assumed the newlyweds were embarking on a blissful honeymoon behind closed doors, Diana was facing a heartbreaking reality. She discovered a bracelet Charles had kept before their wedding, engraved with the letters G and F, standing for Girl Friday. It wasn't for her, it was for Camilla Parker Bowles, Charles's longtime companion. As the days went on, more troubling signs emerged. During their honeymoon, Diana noticed a pair of cufflinks Charles was wearing, engraved with the letters C and P. Suspicious, she confronted him, and Charles brushed it off, claiming they were a gift from a friend. But Diana wasn't fooled, she knew the truth. Camilla was still very much a part of Charles's life. After the honeymoon, Charles and Diana made a public visit to Wales, but something unexpected happened. The people weren't cheering for Charles. Instead, crowds chanted, "We want Diana." She had already won the hearts of the public. Diana soon found solace in a new role, one that set her apart from the rest of the royal family. At a time when AIDS patients were shunned and feared, Diana took a bold stand. She publicly embraced those suffering from the disease, proving that AIDS couldn't be spread through touch. HIV does not make people dangerous to know. You can shake their hands and give them a hug, Diana declared. She refused to let fear dictate how these individuals were treated. Her compassion and willingness to challenge outdated beliefs made her a beacon of hope. She was redefining what it meant to be a royal, putting people before protocol. This was in stark contrast to Queen Elizabeth's more conditional approach, but Diana didn't back down. Despite her public triumphs, Diana's marriage to Charles was crumbling. But what was she hiding from the public? In a jaw-dropping revelation that has left the world speechless, Prince William has finally addressed one of the royal family's most closely guarded secrets, the existence of a sister the public never knew about. For nearly 3 decades, this woman, named Claire, lived completely out of the public eye, hidden away due to a rare and unusual medical condition. The shocking truth only surfaced when Prince William sat down for an exclusive interview, finally shedding light on why she had remained a secret for so long. Claire was born with an extremely rare condition that caused multiple round, lump-like growths to appear on her face. Although these growths were not harmful, they were highly visible, making her stand out in a way that could have drawn relentless media attention. According to Prince William, the decision to keep her out of the royal spotlight was not out of shame but rather an act of protection. The family feared the harsh judgment of the media and the unforgiving scrutiny of the public. Throughout her childhood, Claire was raised in complete privacy, shielded from the world's prying eyes. She grew up surrounded by love but with an understanding that her life had to remain separate from the royal family's public duties. It was only in recent years that she found the confidence to step forward, no longer wanting to remain a mystery. In the interview, Prince William emphasized that the family had never abandoned Claire. Instead, they made the difficult choice to keep her away from the public gaze so she could live a peaceful life, free from media pressure. "She is and always has been an important part of our family," he explained. "We wanted to give her the freedom to grow up without the burden of public expectations." Claire, now in her late 20s, has expressed her desire to gradually introduce herself to the world, not for fame, but to bring awareness to others who struggle with rare conditions. She hopes that by sharing her story, people who feel different will realize they are not alone. Her courage and resilience have made her an advocate for body positivity, encouraging society to be more accepting and understanding of those who don't fit conventional beauty standards. Recently, Claire made her first public appearance alongside Prince William at a royal event, marking a turning point in her life. The media was quick to react, with many praising her bravery, while others criticized the royal family for keeping her hidden all these years. Her story has sparked a heated debate about privacy versus public duty. Prince William's honesty about Claire's existence has opened up a much larger conversation about the pressures of being born into a famous family and how society treats people with unique medical conditions. Meanwhile, the drama within the royal family extends beyond Claire's story. In a heartbreaking chapter of Princess Diana's life, her world shattered when Prince Charles publicly admitted to having an affair. The revelation sent Diana into a deep depression, leaving her struggling with eating disorders, overwhelming sadness, and even thoughts of ending her own life. Feeling trapped in an unhappy marriage, Diana made the painful decision to divorce Charles. Their split became one of the most talked about scandals in modern history, captivating audiences around the world. But instead of fading away, Diana turned her pain into purpose. She traveled to South Africa, where she met with Nelson Mandela and helped establish a charity to support AIDS victims, further solidifying her role as a beloved humanitarian. Diana's emotional struggles had begun much earlier, even before her children were born. In 1981, while pregnant with Prince William, she suffered a terrible fall down the stairs at Sandringham. Although she was physically unharmed, the incident revealed the emotional turmoil she was enduring. She later admitted that the fall wasn't an accident. She had thrown herself down in a desperate cry for help, overwhelmed by self-hatred and despair over Charles's ongoing affair. Her heartbreak deepened after giving birth to Prince William in 1982, as she battled severe postpartum depression. Despite attempts to salvage their marriage, Diana knew Charles's heart belonged to someone else, Camilla Parker Bowles. When she later became pregnant with Prince Harry, she chose to keep his gender a secret from Charles, knowing he had desperately wished for a daughter instead of another son. After 5 years of marriage, their relationship had crumbled beyond repair. But it wasn't just Diana and Charles caught in this complicated web. Camilla's presence loomed over their every interaction. And now, with the revelation of Claire's existence, the royal family's hidden drama seemed more tangled than ever. Was the royal family right to keep her a secret, or should she have been introduced to the world much earlier? Should the monarchy be more open about its private struggles, or does maintaining secrecy protect those involved? The royal scandal continued. By 1986, Princess Diana had started a romantic relationship with James Hewitt, a former cavalry officer who had also been a riding instructor for the royal family. As soon as the media caught wind of this, speculation ran wild. People couldn't help but notice how much Diana's younger son, Prince Harry, resembled Hewitt. This fueled rumors that Hewitt was actually Harry's biological father, but Hewitt firmly denied the claims, explaining that his affair with Diana didn't even begin until 2 years after Harry was born. Despite the swirling gossip, Prince Charles showed little concern. His focus was elsewhere. He was deeply involved with Camilla Parker Bowles. Diana, however, was furious. She saw Camilla as the woman who had shamelessly inserted herself into her marriage. In 1989, Diana reached her breaking point. At a birthday party, she confronted Camilla directly, summoning every ounce of strength to remain composed. "I know what's going on. Don't treat me like I'm stupid," she told Camilla. This shocking confrontation pulled back the curtain on the cracks in Diana and Charles's marriage, making it clear to the world just how bad things had become. The royal family tried to step in, hoping to patch things up, but their efforts were in vain. Before long, secretly recorded phone conversations between Charles and Camilla were leaked to the public, and the world got an unfiltered look at the royal couple's unraveling relationship. Then, in 1992, journalist Andrew Morton released Diana, Her True Story, a book that sent shockwaves through the monarchy. The book, which was based on secret recordings from Diana herself, revealed painful truths about her struggles, her heartbreak over Charles's infidelity, her battles with depression, and even her sense of isolation within the royal family. As the scandal grew, the question of divorce loomed large. The British monarchy was torn. The church strongly opposed the idea of a future king getting remarried while his former wife was still alive. Charles was left at a crossroads. He refused to step down from his royal duties, but his marriage to Diana was beyond saving. Finally, in 1992, Prime Minister John Major officially announced that Charles and Diana had separated. That same year, yet another scandal hit, the leak of intimate phone calls between Charles and Camilla. This forced Charles to address the situation publicly. He even commissioned a documentary about his life, hoping to win back public sympathy. In the film, he tried to justify his relationship with Camilla, portraying her as a trusted friend who had been there for him in difficult times. When asked if he had ever been unfaithful to Diana, Charles hesitated before answering, "Yes," until it became irretrievably broken down, "Both of us having tried." Meanwhile, Camilla finalized her divorce in 1995, and Diana was beginning to rebuild her life. She dedicated herself to humanitarian causes, using her global influence to champion causes like landmine victims and AIDS awareness. But just as she was reclaiming her happiness, tragedy struck. In August 1997, Diana died in a car crash in Paris. Her sudden death stunned the world, and the circumstances surrounding it led to endless speculation and conspiracy theories. Millions mourned her loss, and for many, Charles's relationship with Camilla became even harder to accept. After Diana's passing, Charles knew that if he ever wanted to marry Camilla, he would have to be patient. The public wasn't ready to forgive. Even Queen Elizabeth II was reluctant. She didn't attend Charles's 50th birthday party simply because Camilla was on the guest list. But time softened the opposition. By 2000, the Queen made a public appearance with Camilla, signaling her acceptance. Slowly, the narrative began to change. Though many still saw Camilla as the other woman, she was no longer a pariah. In 2005, Charles and Camilla finally married, and she was given the title Duchess of Cornwall. Even then, the Queen chose not to attend the wedding ceremony, but she did host a reception afterward at Windsor Castle. Years later, when Charles became king, Camilla was officially given the title of Queen Consort. Before her death, Queen Elizabeth had made it clear that she wanted the public to accept Camilla in this role. In a public statement, she said, "When the time comes, I know you will give Charles and his wife Camilla the same support you have given me." But while Charles and Camilla's relationship had been the focus of public attention for decades, few people knew about Camilla's daughter, Laura Parker Bowles. Laura, the half-sister of Princes William and Harry, grew up largely outside the royal spotlight. But behind closed doors, tensions were high. The complicated love triangle between Charles, Diana, and Camilla deeply affected the next generation. William, fiercely protective of his late mother's legacy, resented Camilla for the pain she had caused Diana. This led to frequent clashes between him and Laura. In heated moments, Laura would fire back, saying, "Your father ruined my life." The two eventually made peace as they got older, but the emotional scars of their parents' past lingered. Unlike her brother, Tom Parker Bowles, who embraced the public eye as a food critic and TV personality, Laura deliberately avoided the limelight. She pursued a quiet career in the arts, married Harry Lopez, a former model-turned-accountant, in 2006, and lived a private life far from the chaos of the monarchy. Fast forward to the next generation, and the cycle of conflict continued. In 2011, Prince William married Catherine Middleton, a commoner whose grace and charm won over the British public. Their wedding was a grand event, watched by over 300 million people worldwide. Kate, now Princess of Wales, became one of the most beloved members of the royal family. When Prince Harry married Meghan in 2018, the world watched in fascination, but tension soon arose both within the royal family and with the British press. Meghan and Kate reportedly clashed over wedding details, particularly Princess Charlotte's dress. The rift deepened as Meghan struggled to fit into the rigid traditions of the monarchy. What do you think about Prince William's sister's shocking revelation? Let us know your opinion in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.